In this video, we will be going over long, deep breathing, also known as the three-part yogic breath or Dirgha Pranayama. It's important for this breath that we find a really tall spine, creating space for our abdomen and diaphragm to really expand and contract without any hindrance from crunching into our lower abdominals. So first, let's be seated, either in a chair with our feet flat on the floor, or you can be lying down on your back. Again, any position where your spine can really find length. So you can also sit cross-legged on the earth or on a mat, on a cushion, anything like that. Or you can sit with your feet straight out in front of you. So the idea with the three-part breath is that we utilize all three different chambers in order to get more oxygen and fuller, deeper breaths than our typical shallow chest breathing that many of us here have resorted to from a life of living at a desk or any kind of stressful environment. So we'll start off and we'll bring one hand to the belly as we will isolate the breath to this lower chamber to begin. So on your inhales, feel the belly gently pushing into the hand as it expands out like a balloon. And then your exhales, you feel the belly button hugging back in towards spine, almost as if you're squeezing out all the air. So the inhales, you fill up the belly. And the exhales, navel hugs towards spine, completing the full exhale. Close the eyes down and just keep moving with the breath here. Feeling the inhales, filling the belly like a balloon. And the exhales as the hand guides the belly back in towards spine for the exhale. Continue just isolated to the lower chamber, feeling every inhale expand the belly just a little bit more, maybe even feeling the breath wrapping around the hips into the low back, creating a three-dimensional breath. Think expansion with your inhales and contraction with your exhales. Now let's bring a hand up to the side of the ribs here. You can use both hands or maybe just one, and have the thumb wrap around the back of the ribs as the fingers wrap to the front, really just so we can cup the rib cage and feel some expansion moving up into the second chamber. So our next breath, we'll inhale first, filling the belly just like before. This time we feel the breath rising up into the rib cage as the ribs expand, pushing into those hands. And then the exhale, the ribs deflate and the belly hugs back towards spine. Continue with this breath, isolating to the lower two chambers. So we inhale, filling the belly, and continue rising up and expanding through the ribs. And we exhale, the ribs deflate, and the belly hugs in towards spine. Very last, completing the exhale. Allow the eyes to close down as you tune in to the sensations of the breath. Tuning in to all the subtle muscle actions of the diaphragm and abdominals and the lungs. Now we move on to complete the three-part breath. So first we'll release our hands down into our thighs. We'll inhale, we'll feel the belly fill to capacity. Feel the ribs expand like a balloon. And next, we'll continue to rise the breath all the way up into the chest and collarbone region so you feel the chest gently lift. And then the exhales, the chest gently falls, the ribs deflate, and then the belly hugs back towards spine. This is our complete 3-part yogic breath, long, deep breathing. So we inhale from bottom to top. And we exhale from top to bottom. Continue with this deep breath, allowing the different chambers to blend together smoothly. We're increasing the oxygen flow, nourishing all of our cells. Bringing peace and stillness to the mind as we let all external distractions fall away. And if we do notice that we've been on autopilot and the mind has wandered elsewhere, maybe thinking about something you have to do in the future, something you're worried about in the future, maybe you're reliving a past experience or a memory, just notice that your mind has gone somewhere else and gently return it back to the breath. Do this as many times as necessary. Maybe finding a slight constriction at the back of the throat, allowing us to really hear the breath. We call this victorious breath, or breath of the ocean, because it sounds like an ocean, the tide coming in and out with your inhale and your exhale. It's also known as Ujjayi breath, and it is useful for bringing in heat to the body, also allowing us to elongate our inhales and our exhales, making it a great tool. Continue to inhale deep into the belly, up into the ribs, feeling them expand, and then feeling the collarbones lift as we complete the inhale. And we exhale again from top to bottom, letting the chest fall, the ribs deflate, and the navel hug back towards spine. It's important to maintain that tall spine here. Otherwise, we'll find difficulty expanding and finding a deep breath. So make sure we're finding a lift from the pelvic floor all the way through the crown of the head. Feeling the chest slightly lift up to the sky as the shoulders roll down and back. Chin gently tucks back toward the throat for a neck lock. With a long spine, we create space for the breath. This is a practice of cultivation. So if you're finding difficulty feeling the breath in the 3 chambers, just stick with it. It'll click. And when you feel like you're complete, return back to your normal signature breath. Just moving in and out of the nostrils. Give yourself just a moment of acknowledgement and gratitude for taking the time to get to know yourself. to cultivate the skill of meditation, of breathing properly. Allow that gratitude to find expression with how you move through the rest of your day, with love for yourself and for others. And when you're feeling ready to conclude your practice, just roll out the wrists, maybe roll out the neck a few times. Roll out the shoulders as you reintroduce sensation to the body. That's it for long, deep breathing.